Get this. We raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone, the most in presidential campaign history.
What is going on here? Is this a pep talk for the people or is this a pep talk for you?
Good work. To be engaged in a collective fight for America's future. Yeah. And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time. It was personal for you. And you gave all that you could to support our campaign. Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone, the most in presidential campaign history.
This is what I mean by out of touch. You just bragged about raising the most amount of money in campaign history and you lost. Like, that's not a good thing. That's not a good, the people did not, in my opinion, I don't know, the people, y'all can speak up and give your, I do not feel that the people got a proper return on their value, a proper return on their investment. I don't believe that they got compensated correctly with the money that was put out. We put out 1.5 billion. I do not think that the people feel that they got a return value of that 1.5 billion. But she's bragging about the amount of money that they raised, not even realizing like, yo, that's an embarrassing thing. Here you raised 1.5 billion. You may have raised over 4 times the amount of money that Donald Trump and his campaign raised. They still have money left over. They didn't go into debt. You all raised 1.5 billion and you have people on your campaign coming out saying that they didn't get their last 2 checks. I don't know. And Uncle Brother just wrote, yes, they know people are waking up, but they have enough to try to derail Trump's agenda, like the 90+% of the psycho fans that voted for them here in DC and Maryland. Yeah, but you and Uncle Brother, like this, to give us hope and to give us maybe some joy that she's talking about. When you look at New York and New Jersey and the margin in which she won on, it's not the super blue that it was maybe in previous elections. People are starting to wake up, and I guarantee you that after the election, well, I don't know. Let me ask. Matter of fact, this is actually something I'm interested in. Do you think that after the election, like based on right now, do you think that the Democrats lost support or gained support based on losing the election? Because sometimes you can lose and people rally behind you. Look at Trump. Other times you can lose and people say like, nah, they ain't got it. We need to look elsewhere. Which one do y'all think it is when it comes to Kamala Harris and the Democrats? That would be my question. Do you think people are rallying behind her? Do you think people are rallying behind the Democratic Party? Or do you think people are becoming more and more fed up and that a large amount of people are leaving the Democratic Party? Because like it or not, when Trump speaks, and I don't even know if this is a good thing, or I don't even know how to feel about this. But when Donald Trump speaks and the energy that Donald Trump and his team brings, they, in my opinion, move with a energy that makes Americans proud to be American, whatever that means. Like they move with an energy that makes people proud to be Americans. And on the other side, the energy from the Democrats is, no, these are the things we need to change about being. It's not all. It just seems to be a little bit of a different energy. And I think people are now starting to embrace Donald Trump's energy and what it brings to the table, regardless of how we may have felt about him in the past, regardless of how they try to call him a racist, he's a bigot, he's a misogynist, all these things. People are starting to look beyond that and just say like, nah, we rocking with Trump. I like the way that he makes me feel. I like the way that he makes the country feel. I like that he's willing to stand up and and go against a lot of these establishments, big pharma, go against the Food and Drug Administration, go against be strong on the border, shut down a lot of these wars that are occurring all over the world. I think people are starting to embrace that, but I may be wrong.
Nearly 8 million donors contributed an average donation of about $56 to fuel our people-powered campaign.
Did you hear that?
Nearly 8 million donors contributed an average donation of about $56.
8 million people contributed $56. That's a good amount. I tell you what, they raised a good amount of money. They raised a good amount of money. I don't know if the majority of it was based on fear mongering, fear tactics, or what, but they raised a good amount of money. So from that standpoint, which politics, and maybe that's the reason why she's bragging about it. It's funny. I had a conversation with my cousin. She was thinking about running for senator. And the reason why she got turned off was because she's like, yo, it's all about just the money you raise. So from Kamala Harris's standpoint, I guess she should be bragging about the amount of money that they raised, but she shouldn't be bragging about the people that she shouldn't be bragging about the money she raised to the people whose money that she actually took, in my opinion. When you lost, you didn't deliver. Those 8 million people that gave you $56, they gave you that amount of money so you can win the election. And in a lot of people's eyes, you didn't come close.
To fuel our people-powered campaign.
And now it's coming out. I just heard that, her campaign, a lot of the people on her team were saying that their polling numbers never showed that Kamala Harris would beat Trump. So if that's the case, a lot of people may be feeling like, man, y'all made it seem like y'all about to win. I put money on you. And even you go on Robinhood. Remember, we talked about it on the election day, where on Robinhood, you could just bet who's going to win. So here you got her team telling a whole bunch of people, yeah, we're going to win. We're confident and all that stuff. And I know, what is she supposed to say, right? What is she supposed to say? Hey, the polling numbers look bad. But I'm just telling you, based on when people put up their money, they're looking for results. And they weren't delivered.
And understand that the work that we did included the work that so many of you here did, which is to talk to first-time voters. Many of you are first-time voters. And to talk about how being involved can make a difference. And that remains true. And that's one of the pieces that I just want us to please take away, that our fight for freedom and for opportunity and for the promise of America, it included, for example, nearly almost 4 million first-time contributors to our campaign, because of the work you did of helping people know that they can be engaged and that they're not outside, that they're inside, that we're all in this together. And that work continues. The work must continue of reminding ourselves that we have an ability to stay engaged in a way that will make a difference. The work that you all did, it's going to have lasting effect. Again, I'll say, the election didn't turn out like we wanted it to.
No, the work that you did or didn't do is going to have a lasting effect. This is a shift that's happening, and maybe they realize it and they're just trying to avoid addressing it. There is a shift. When 100, 200, 300 years from now, maybe 5 years from now, we're going to look back and say 2024, that election between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, that was a turning point. That was where a lot of people that could never even consider not voting Democrat or could never even consider looking at the Republicans in a favorable way, regardless of who you voted for in the actual election. This presidency that is coming up with Donald Trump, in my opinion, is going to shift a lot of people, and it's going to break up these traditional parties. Because Donald Trump, think about it, when he leaves office, he could start his own party. He could stay with the Republicans, because there's a lot of Republicans that hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in my opinion, I said it earlier, he is going to become the president of the people. He's going to become the president of the people. And right now, it's almost perfect timing for that, because a lot of time, it's like you need sometimes the people to be ready for change, or the people to be fed up with something. And like I said, if Donald Trump didn't have these 4 years where he lost to Biden, then we wouldn't have been able to maybe have the mindset that is inviting to do some of the things that he's looking to do. Where, I mean, I know that people on The View and Joy Behar, they're criticizing RFK Jr., they're criticizing Tulsi Gabbard, they're criticizing all these people. But the people actually like these people. The people actually like the things that RFK Jr. is challenging people on. The people actually like the things that Tulsi Gabbard called out when it came to her debate with Kamala Harris. The people actually like that Tulsi Gabbard's willing to stand up against Hillary Clinton. The people are not just agreeing and going along with y'all just saying, oh, this is a Russia hoax, Russia this, Russia that. The people are starting to open up their eyes. And in my opinion, this election, it will be remembered forever, like she said, because this is going to be the one where, regardless of who you voted for, that a lot of people are going to be opening up their eyes and willing to call out the Democrats on their BS, and perhaps even willing to maybe consider voting a different way in the next election. But I guess only time will tell.
Certainly not as we planned for it to. But understand that the work we put into it was about.
And my fault, I missed Enrique's comment real quick. So people will always catch the lies of the media and the Democrats. I think that we're starting to. I think that this is the time where a lot everything's getting exposed. It's like we go back to Cat Williams. Cat Williams said the truth is coming out in 2024. And we can't say that he was wrong on any of that. It just seemed like it was maybe he just felt the energy. I don't know what it was, but it just seems like there's a shift that's occurring. Uncle Brother wrote, I think they lost support. I'm not fully convinced the percentages I just shared are totally accurate. It may be reflective of the people who voted, but lots of folks say this won out. All right, so yeah, it's let's keep going.
About empowering people. That's the spirit with the work we did. Our spirit and our work was about saying that it is a strength that we each have to lift people up, as opposed to beating people down. It is a strength we have that has lasting effect. So all that work that you did that was about engaging with other people, engaging with perfect strangers and in their face seeing a neighbor, that has lasting effect. It reminds people that there are leaders like you who care and will bring us together. And you know, sometimes in the darkest moments, people lose faith in that. Are there people out there that feel that way? And you reminded people that yes, there are. And there are a lot of us.
Yo, she's giving school principal vibes, like high school principal vibes, or no, middle school, maybe middle school, like talking to some middle school kids. It's the principal trying to inspire us to have an amazing school year. Like,
and that strength cannot be taken from us. That is our strength. It cannot be taken from us. So listen, as I said the day after the election, I still strongly believe the light of America's promise will burn bright as long as we never give up and we keep fighting.
What are we fighting for, ma'am? Like, what are we fighting? What are you talking about? You didn't fight the border. You didn't stop the fighting. You haven't stopped the fighting between Ukraine and Russia. You haven't stopped the fighting between Israel and Palestine. Like, you haven't been able to lower the cost of goods. What are we fighting? Like, what exactly is Kamala Harris and Tim? What are their team? What are they fighting? What is she encouraging us to fight? And I've heard other people say stuff like this. These mainstream, like whether it's Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow, what are y'all fighting? What are you talking about? What exactly, if they had one thing that they said that they would be fighting, what are they fighting for? Is it just abortion? Is that the only thing? Like, I'm really trying to figure out, what is she talking about?
And the fight that fueled our campaign, a fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the future.
You see, you hear all the things they speak in. in this ideal language where it's just ideologies. It's not any, it's ideologies versus policies. Listen to what she just said.
That did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November. It fueled our campaign. A fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not.
A fight for freedom, opportunity, and dignity. What does that mean? No, man, we want to secure the border. we don't want our tax dollars going to Russia and Ukraine fighting a war. We don't want to create a nuclear war with Russia. We don't want our tax dollars and things, what's happening in Israel, Palestine going on. We don't want prices to be costing this much. We don't want to not be able to afford a house. These are the things. What are you? Freedom and dignity and opportunity? Like, nah. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.